Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to my channel. My name is Rivka, and today we're going to talk about fear. The reason I'm laughing is because I did the whole video, and for some reason it just didn't record. I was like, oh no, I have to do it all over again. It's terrible. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so last night I had this. I woke up in the middle of the night and I felt very strongly that I should go and make a video. But it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I went, not doing it in the middle of the night. I'll do it in the morning. And it was so I wrote a few notes, and the video was about fear. And so in my life, since I was very, very young, I had fear of things that were not really explainable. I was afraid that someone will grab me. I was afraid that if I was swimming, that something will come underneath. I had all sorts of fears like that. As I grew up and I started traveling the world, I was a dancer and I traveled to different parts of the world, different companies, I got scholarships, all sorts of stuff. My fears were still those fears. I never had this worry about how to make a living, or will I be able to finish the month, or stuff like that. It was like I had times when I had a ticket and $5 to my name, but I had the trust that I'll get somewhere, I'll get a job straight away, and I'll manage. And I remember my father was always really worried about, like, you can't just go around, with a bag and you can't do that. And I was like, well, I can. But that fear of the things that are unknown is what really had me, it used to grab me a lot. It took many years before memories came up, and I actually understood that some of those fears were for a reason. I did get grabbed, I did get raped, I did get abused, and that those things were in there, and therefore, if I got in the plane, I always made sure that I know how to get out as soon as possible. Every place I went in, I knew where the exits are. All sorts of things like this that I put into place in order to feel safer. So quite a few years ago, I put out a video about fear. And like I said, the other day, by chance, as I was looking through different hard drives and stuff like this, I found that video, and I went, oh my God, I should do it again. And at the time, I called the video "What If," because I was saying that most of our fears are on what if. We are not actually, nothing actually is happening at that moment. And I'm not talking about someone running away from a bomb coming down, which is a real fear. You need to get out of there. A fear is good. Fear is not a bad thing if it actually serves us at a certain time. If you're going to cross the road and suddenly you hear a screech of a car, and in the corner of your eye you see a car coming really fast, you run like hell, and adrenaline comes in and you get out of the way, that's good fear. It actually serves you. But most of our fears don't serve us, because most of our fears are what if. What if something happened? So I need to have an insurance for this and an insurance for that. What if this one says such and such? And what if and what if and what if? You can find your own what ifs. If you look inside yourself, you go, oh my God, I have so many what ifs. And the truth is, 90% of them never actually come. And that insurance of the what if for the one that does takes over our lives and make other people very, very wealthy. And that's crazy. We created a world where all we do is pay for other people. for other companies. People that already have so much money by themselves, they don't really need your money for it. And that becomes an insanity where the everyone is constantly paying. And I mean, you're paying taxes, you're paying for what if, and you're paying insurance companies, and you're paying more taxes here and more insurances there, and you're afraid, so you put, like if you think of the corona time where people put masks without thinking, without knowing, without everything, just what if. And my suggestion is to say to ourselves, but what if not? What if it doesn't happen? What does that mean for us? And for me, it meant freedom. And I know, and I always say, that freedom costs, because if we are willing to be free, it can cost us friendship, it can cost us sometimes loneliness, it can cost us in where we are, because we are saying we do not comply, we do not want to be part of this, we are not going to behave the same way, and so we are different. But if everyone else around us starts doing that, then we are not different anymore. It sort of reminds me a little bit that when my kids were little, we used to go to Woolies to do the shopping, and we always used to ask them for a box. And they always used to look at me really funny, like, what do you want a box for? And like, well, I don't want to use plastic bags. Like, why? Because I don't feel it's right. This was way before, when plastic bags were. And I did that for a few years. And then one day I came to the shop and I realized that there were other people picking up boxes and bringing their own bags. And for a moment there, I felt really sad, because I wasn't different anymore, and I got used to being different. And it was a point of conversation, And suddenly, I wasn't. Suddenly, everyone else also picked up boxes and also brought their own bags. And look at it now. Everybody brings their own bags. And if you don't bring your own bags, you pay a little bit to get a bag from a shop. Changes. And I feel the same, that if we all say that, and we all do it, and we all start living freely with a freedom and belief in our heart. And I know it's hard, because I went through it. It's very hard. And sometimes you have to give something up in order to achieve that freedom. But then you realize that you actually didn't give it up because it wasn't really that necessary. I mean, do we really have to have that new lounge, or can we have a lounge that's secondhand? And it's still just as good and just as beautiful. But it didn't cost us anything because somebody else threw it away. Or because it was, I don't know, very, very cheap and we can afford it with no problem. And because we bought the lounge for much less, not for $3,000, but maybe for $50, then we could also afford to go out for dinner and have something really special. Or because we are making our own bread every day, and we don't buy that shit bread in the shop that has all sorts of awful things for us, we're actually healthier. So yes, we had to give more time to make that bread every day, or every few days, or to make pita breads or whatever. But we're actually healthier. We on this weekend, I met a lady who doesn't want her children to have lollies. And I said, whoa, make your own. Then those lollies, because the sugar is not that problem. What is the problem is all the other stuff that they put in those lollies that make the kids go crazy in the head. But if you just give them lollies that you made yourself, that are made of good gelatin and some juice, they're amazing. There's nothing wrong with them. We do need a little bit of sweetness in our life. We don't want to live with a life with no sugar, no sweet at all. Maple syrup or xylitol or cane sugar in some, we want honey. We want those yummy things in our life. But we just want to have them in a way that is good for us, that makes us feel happy and healthy. Anyway, it's a little bit of a rumble today, a little bit of a blah, blah, blah. I just felt that it's time to start talking again. And also I need to encourage myself to sort of tell more about our story and bring more messages that I receive every day, and to encourage you, me, everyone, to find where we're supposed to be that make us the happiest. Where are we supposed to be? Where are we supposed to live? Who are we supposed to be with? And have the courage to do it. And if it's not possible straight away, think about it. Encourage yourself to focus of where we want to be and how we want to live, and start the journey slowly towards it with no fear, with freedom, with knowing that it's possible. So starting again after a little while of quietness. There is so much, there is so much information out there in the wild world. If you open YouTube, virtually everything you ask, everything you need, if you want information, is out there, and you can get that information. And I encourage you to go and find, information. But there's a lot of fear out there as well, and you don't want to be part of that. Anytime you hear something that starts making you go into that spiral of fear, my suggestion is turn it off. Go and find someone who tells you that you can change the world, that you can make the world to a place where you want to live in, that you want your children to be in. You can make the world, this world that is worthwhile living in. And that's the people you want to listen to, because they're right, and because they will help you find that encouragement within yourself to be that better person. And if you are a better person, and if you do it, and somebody else does it, and somebody else does it, then we are going to get together to the place where it is fantastic, wonderful, because we deserve it, and because we are the masters for this wonderful world, not big companies and nonsense. Anyway, thank you for listening. Please share it if you know someone that it'll encourage, because I want to make more and more videos about encouraging. I want to tell my story. I want to talk to you about spirit guides and little people and wonderful things that are here in this nature. And I hope that will help you, me, everyone, to create this amazing world that we live in, to become a better world and a wonderful world. Don't know why I keep saying a better world. It is a good world. We just have to find that part of it. That's it for today. Please share. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Please press that like button.